All right, let's get right into it. You know what the video is titled. You already know what you clicked on. This is the level 2 versus the level 3. We're going to go over the specs, then we're going to go on a ride with the level 3 and just kind of get my overall feel of the differences between the 2 and the 3. Let's check it out. Right now, it's all about parts. What are the actual differences between the level 2 and the level 3? So, just for reference here, we have the level 3 in a regular size, and then this level 2 is the larger frame. Okay, so let's start out with the level 3 up in the cockpit, because that's where the biggest changes, or at least the most easily spottable changes are. First of all, you have this articulating stem, which it's becoming more and more a must on these e-bikes because there's just so many types of riders who really want to fine-tune the reach and the upright position versus more of an aggressive commuting position if you are trying to, hit higher speeds or go a little quicker, or more traditional bike feel. You want to be able to fine-tune that, and you don't have that over here on the level 2. This is a fixed stem, but you can always buy that for the level 2, so it's by no means a deal breaker. One thing new though that I haven't seen from Aventon yet that I really like is how clean it looks up here, and that's due to this new Magura, I hope that I'm saying that right, hydraulic braking system. It is so clean, so sharp, it feels so nice. Like, I really like it. I wanted to show you just the old Tektro hydraulic braking system, and you'll just notice a lot more cables coming out of this bike. And that's how a bike should look. It's not out of the ordinary, but they definitely cleaned it up and streamlined things on the level 3. And looking downward, we have the exact same bike. So when you're actually looking at the front end anyways, again, and then the whole thesis of this video is you're getting slightly more premium on the level 3. They definitely didn't just carry over everything, which you love to see. They actually went in and designed a new bike in a new way here, instead of just carrying over 90% of the same parts and adding a torque sensor. And that's exactly what they did, I felt like, on the level 1 versus level 2. So it's a whole new bike here, which I really like to see. Okay, moving down, we're going to talk about this whole setup for the new torque sensor. Now, they both have a torque sensor. You can watch some of my other videos if you want to learn the difference between a cadence sensor and a torque sensor, but all newer bikes have these torque sensors that give you an overall more natural feel when you're riding your bike. So the biggest thing I want to bring out of the difference in the level 3 when it comes to that torque sensor is the new app you get compared to the level 2 app. Now, it really comes down to like the person who wants to fine tune every bit of their bike, especially if this is your daily commuter. You do want that. You want to be able to do the articulating arm. You want to be able to adjust how the torque sensor is engaging. You want to be able to fine tune your different levels of pedal assist, and the level 3 opens the door to do that. Now, you have some nuance you can control on the level 2. There still is an app. You still can fine tune a couple things, but nowhere near what is available on the level 3. And it takes it to that next level when we talk about the security features. So this also includes a GPS mode. So someone steals this bike, you're just going to pop open your phone and find where it is, go to the police, say, hey, help me pick up my bike because I know it's here. This guy stole it, whatever it might be. So that's a great peace of mind. Not only that, there's like 3 other levels of no pun, whatever. There's 3 other levels of security. So back here, you have a rear lock mechanism where these will make sure that the bike is, or the this will make sure the rear wheel does not engage and you cannot ride the bike off. Even, if someone were to, let's say, they can't turn the bike on, but they can still pedal it away. No, they can't, not on the level 3. And then they definitely won't be able to get into the system because there's additional passwords you can put on here now. So I'll show you that later in the video if you're curious, or maybe in a separate video, but you can essentially build a password so that you can't even ride the bike and without typing in your code, which is another level of security. So as far as anyone trying to take this bike, good luck. And then if they do take it, it doesn't matter because you got your GPS, which is just super solid. Okay, quickly, we're gonna talk range and battery now. So what I think is super interesting, and I need to do a deeper dive on it, quite honestly. I looked into the battery sizes. So you actually only have a 15 amp hour on the level 2, which is still good, that's no problem. Rated for 60 miles of range paired with that 500 watt motor back here. Now on the level 3, you get a 20 amp hour battery, which is significantly bigger. So you'd think you'd get a lot more range, like you'd technically 25% more range. However, you're actually getting closer to about 70 miles of range on this one. So you're only getting that 10-mile bump, which maybe I need to compare some real world numbers, because it's just not adding up for me. Getting 5 extra amp hours, it should be adding, in my opinion, a lot more, just a lot more range. Now it would make sense if this was a 750 watt motor drawing more energy, but the fact that it's essentially the same 500 watt motor with the same peak at about 800 something peak power, like, what am I missing here? Maybe if you guys know, I'd love to have you answer that in the comments for me, because it's just not adding up. That said, at the end of the day, a 20 amp hour versus a 15 is pretty significant. So know that when you're buying this more expensive bike, a big chunk of why it's more expensive is that extra 5 amp hours that you're getting in this battery. I'm gonna skip talking about the derailleur and shifting because they're the exact same. We'll touch on this nice new rack. This is something that looks closer to what is on the Adventure 2. It's just a more premium feel, I'd say. It looks sleek, like I said earlier. Versus, not that there's anything wrong with this, but you got all these different, breakaway points. You've got this mounting arm up here, and it just doesn't look as clean as what you have here, which is a much more simple mechanism, and it ties to the fender nicely, I think. And then we work our way down a little bit. You have this chain guard. That's just, another premium option. This is also seen on the Adventure 2, and it just saves your frame. It's basically a piece of rubber that goes over your frame. So when you're pedaling hard and the chain's bashing up against the aluminum frame here, it's just gonna make sure that it stays clean and you're not damaging the frame at all. And then we're pivoting over here real quick to talk about maybe the last difference. Yeah, I think the last difference here, you are getting a suspension seat post, so it's gonna be a little more comfortable. That is probably, I saved that for last because it means the least to me, because it's like, I don't know, $20, $30 to just have this added into any other e-bike. So you could put that on the level 2, no problem. A real quick tour here of the new display, where we do have that bike lock that we talked about earlier, and then we also have a battery lock built into the display. On top of that, a couple other features like that password I mentioned as well. I'm not going to set that up right now, but as you can see, really easy to set up in the menu here. All I did was hold the plus and minus sign over here on this dial, just like that. You hold plus and minus at the same time and it opens up this menu. But we'll go back. We're going to play around with just these levels of power assist. And as you can see, which is really nice, is when you go to eco mode versus sport mode versus turbo mode, it's going to tell you the estimated range left on the bike. So I'm at 51%. In turbo mode, that's saying I'm going to get 19 miles, which is honestly still pretty incredible. And then you look lower, you check out eco mode here, and you're getting 34 miles. Anyways, I just wanted to check in before my ride because how good does this look in the sun? I love this new kind of like spruce green color. It's nice. It's not too like silver. It's got just enough green. It's sleek. It is looking real nice. All right, now it's for the hardest part of this video. We got to decide, who is this bike for? Should you be getting a level 2? Should you be getting level 3? Should you get neither? Let's talk about it. So the first elephant in the room is the price right now. With the tariffs and everything, Aventon has announced that this price at level 3 might go up by $300. That puts it at $2,200. Now, if you were between the level 2 and the level 3 and it was at its old price of about $1,900, it'd be no question asked, spend the extra money, get the 3. It's a nicer bike. It's really nice. It's comfortable. It feels premium. It looks premium. It is what it looks like. It is a nice premium bike. So that makes it a little awkward when we talk about that extra $300 price bump. Then it gets closer. Is it that much better? I don't know, because the level 2 is on sale right now for $1,400. That's almost like, that is an $800 difference if the tariffs go up. That said, the tariffs also should only affect, as Aventon has mentioned, the newer bikes. So the level 3, their new Commuter e-bike, the new Pace 4, only those ones that they haven't bought existing inventory of are projected to actually go up by this $300. Now, is this bike for you is the next question. Now, the level 3 in particular, you should only buy it if you are using this like in a city as your actual form of transportation, as a real commuter bike. And here's why. That extra money, that like extra, we'll say $500 to $600 or whatever it is, you're paying for in these features that make it ironclad as a commuter bike in a city. So these password features, this GPS feature, the lockout in the rear, the extra passwords, and all of that you can add, make this thing a no-brainer as a commuter in the city. The being able to fine-tune the torque sensor and, making it more customizable and comfortable because of the articulating arm and because of the different the seat suspension and all the customization we mentioned just a second ago. Like, that makes this thing, if you're riding this thing every day, like, you can make it perfect. You can fine-tune it like perfectly. So that's awesome. And you're paying a premium to be able to do this. Now, if you're not in the city, you don't need all these safety features. You don't need something fine-tuned that you're riding every single day. There's so many e-bikes on the market right now, and I know I could find you something at a better value that's going to fit what you're going to do. So if you're not that person I just mentioned, maybe consider something else. Or honestly, the level 2 is probably good for you still. The level 2 is still a great commuting option. Don't get me wrong. It's just the level 3 is a better bike, which is why it's more expensive. So that's a lot to take in, I'm sure. I didn't go as deep as I should, but I also probably spent too long on some other parts too. So hopefully this video helped, and that's all I could ask for. At least if it helped like that much, that'd be great. So that's the level 2 versus the level 3. And if you want me to dig, deeper and maybe to how the app works and stuff like that, I'd be happy to. I just didn't want to make this video, more than the 25-minute video it probably already is. And if you're still watching, I want to just say one thing really quickly. First of all, thank you. Second of all, if you are in Michigan, we have 3 stores. Great Lakes eBikes, check us out. We keep an inventory of 20 to 30 bikes at each location, and that is so if you are looking at e-bikes, if you've seen a couple online and you don't know you could try them all. Like, you don't know what you want until you're on the bike, and if you're spending over $1,000 on a website, you should probably test it out first. And that's our whole MO. So come in, try every model from Aventon, try all of them from Velotric, try some of our Ad Motor e-bikes. Like, we've got them all. We keep them in stock for you to give them a try. Even if you don't buy from us, like, we're still a resource, and I pride ourselves on that. We come in and talk to me, ask me questions. Come into any of our locations, ask us questions. Show us the bike that maybe you were consider buying. We'll be totally honest with you, and we'll let you know all about it. We just love e-bikes, and we're trying to get more people on them. That's what we do. We literally get to sell fun every day, because is there anything more fun than an e-bike? Not really. They're pretty awesome. Okay. I'm done rambling, and thank you so much again for watching, and that'll do it. I'll see you guys. Bye.